After breaking up and being blocked by Liu Ryan, I started using his WeChat as an expense tracker. Braised chicken rice 15 yuan. Winning at Mahjong 200 yuan. Rewarding a borderline female streamer 8,888 yuan. I didn't expect the other side to suddenly reveal the truth. How much? My 8,888 yuan. Liu Ryan immediately shattered the illusion. What do those years of my devotion to you count for? If they can do it, why can't I? Why can't I? With the idea that we could still be friends after breaking up, I sent him a happy birthday message on his birthday. Little did I know, the moment I hit send, I realized he had already blocked me. Staring at the red exclamation mark, I fell into deep thought. Not long ago, I only secretly watched some borderline videos. He got mad at me and said, "Since you like watching them so much, let's break up then." The moment I agreed to the breakup, Liu Ryan with red eyes started packing her things, moving out overnight. Her silhouette was both resolute and lonely. I didn't try to stop her. I even grabbed the claw machine doll she had won for me and threw it out of the window. Go, if you leave, don't come back. Later, I went downstairs to check on her. She even took the doll with her. She left me with nothing. Looking back, she must have truly hated me, even blocked me on WeChat. Fine, then let it be a clean break, each finding their own happiness. I pinned our chat to the top, giving it a new purpose. Braised chicken rice 15 yuan. March 25th, lost 30 yuan on a scratch card. Winning at Mahjong 200 yuan. Just simple entries for a personal ledger. Living alone is a bit lonely. I could only watch more borderline videos to console myself. After refusing several times to go shopping with my friend Jungman, she stormed over to my place, angry and disappointed. Fang Yuan, can you stop acting like you're dying over a woman? There's no shortage of flowers in the world. You're young, move on and find someone else. Half asleep. I rubbed my eyes and climbed out of my den. I'm not dying over a woman. Still denying it? She pointed to the chips and instant noodles on the coffee table, then held up a mirror to my face. Look at the state you're in right now. All for the sake of a woman? Is it worth ruining yourself like this? I brushed back my messy hair in front of the mirror. HMPH, yeah, I do look pretty ghostly, but it's just my online gaming addiction acting up. I gamed all night, slept for half an hour, and then got woken up by her. Of course I'd look awful. No matter how much I explained, she wouldn't believe me. Unless you come with me to a bar to check out some pretty girls. Alright, now I'm interested. The bar was buzzing with excitement. As the DJ shouted hyped phrases, the dance floor grew wilder, waves of heat surging. There were two rather attractive women there. Jungman dragged me, squeezing through the crowd, all the way to their side. She gave me a knowing look. I returned it with an "I got you" glance. We picked a spot and started dancing. Dancing, moving to the rhythm. At one point, I made eye contact with one of the women. She even smiled at me, promising, I thought this one's mine. The other one could be for Jungman. Just as I was about to ask for her WeChat, I suddenly saw the other woman's hand slip under her shirt. She went straight for it, pushing the fabric outward. Her hand slid back and forth under the shirt. The woman gave me a provocative look. I stared wide-eyed in shock. Turning my head, I saw Jungman looking the same, with a disgusted expression as if she'd just swallowed a fly. No wonder I can't find a girlfriend. Turns out the beautiful women are dating each other. Jungman grabbed her drink and downed it in one go. She clearly took the blow hard. I tried to comfort her. It's just a girl, isn't it? There are plenty of fish in the sea, and you're young, you can find someone better. Unexpectedly, she broke down even more. The last time she tried flirting with a girl at a banquet, it turned out to be my aunt. Before that, she asked for a cute girl's WeChat on the street, and the girl pulled out a kid's smartwatch. And now she encountered this absurd situation. Why is my life so miserable? She cried, hugging a bottle and squatting down, muttering. It'd be a lie to say I wasn't sympathetic. But more than sympathy, I wanted to help her move past her pain. I leaned in and said, "How about I find you a model?" She scoffed. "What good is a model? Can a model heal my wounded soul?" I replied in one sentence. "Do you want it or not?" "Yes," she said immediately, with a wave of my hand. I called the top hostess from a nearby club. "My friend just went through a breakup. Cheer her up for me." The top hostess lived up to her reputation. Not only was she beautiful, but she also knew how to provide emotional support. In no time, she had young man smiling and laughing. But drunk people often act impulsively, and young man started getting handsy. The hostess wasn't having it. "Miss, only provide drinking companionship here." Young man immediately turned her head, giving me a pitiful look, as if she were complaining to me about being bullied. What could I do? You have to take care of your own friends. I slammed the table and added more money. That night, we spent 8,888 yuan. Not only did she get to touch the hostess, but she even got her contact information. Enduring the financial pain, I returned home. The first thing I did was pull out my phone. I opened Liu Ryan's chat window. Rewarded a model, 8,888. I didn't even notice that after sending it, there was no system notification. Nor did I know that Liu Ryan was streaming at that moment. When he logged into his gaming account, it showed a password error. Netizens started commenting, saying his account was hacked. The chat was flooded with messages urging him to recover his account quickly. Liu Ryan frowned slightly. The account was tied to his ex-boyfriend's phone number. The livestream viewers immediately got excited, eagerly gossiping and stirring things up. Since when did little Liu have a boyfriend? Was it you who dumped him, or did he dump you? Did you do something wrong to him? After the breakup, he even changed your gaming account password. Go and ask him to return the account. What's the matter? Are you scared? After the viewers fanned the flames, Liu Ryan quickly opened WeChat, removed me from his blacklist, and the next second a message popped up on his phone. Rewarded a model, 8,888. When I came out of the shower, I heard my phone buzzing non-stop. I picked it up to check, and the message was from an all-too-familiar profile picture. It was Liu Ryan. "Luo Xiao, I'm asking you again. Stop pretending to be dead. Answer me now. Don't force me to go crazy. I'm telling you, if I lose it, I'm capable of anything." Why did he suddenly unblock me? And it just happened to be right after seeing rewarded a model, 8,888. In that exact message, I hesitated before typing out in capital letters, 8,888. The next second, she sent a 60-second voice message. "Why me? Why? Have you ever spent this much money on me? We just broke up and you're already seeing a model. What do you take me for? Do you even have a heart?" Her voice choked several times in the middle. I started feeling a bit soft-hearted, but then I suddenly remembered her aloof attitude before. No one would believe it if I told them. Liu Ryan and I lived together for 2 months, and I never even kissed her. There were 2 separate quilts on the bed, one for her and one for me. The boundary was clear as day, seamlessly divided. At night, I would deliberately kick off my quilt and wrap myself around her like an octopus. To my surprise, she'd turn over, stuff me back under my own quilt, and tuck me in tightly. Later, on a chilly night, I tried sneaking into her arms for warmth. She got up, rummaged through the closet for a long time, and finally pulled something out triumphantly. "See, I knew there was another quilt here. Now you won't feel cold." Even a pure love warrior wouldn't be as clueless as she was. And yet, she had the nerve to blame me for watching borderline videos. Thinking about all this, my heart turned cold as steel again. Because she's the top hostess. Because she's beautiful. How can you compare yourself to her? She knows how to make people happy. Honestly, 8,888 feels like I underpaid her. Next time I'll ask for her again. The other side stayed silent for a long time, as if making some kind of decision. So you think I can't compare to them, huh? If they can do it, so can I. Just you wait. At that moment, my younger brother, who rarely contacts me, suddenly sent a late-night message. Chengzi, do you know Liu Ryan? Her ex-boyfriend's profile picture looks just like yours. Don't tell me it's actually you? She's my idol. If she becomes my sister-in-law, I'd absolutely approve. I threw the question right back at him. Would you believe me if I said yes? Chengzi didn't believe it. No way you know Liu Ryan. You stutter even talking to women, let alone finding some model. If you could actually get me a sister-in-law like her, I'd wake up laughing from my dreams. I could only reply, there was a time, but I didn't give her the chance to make you laugh. From Chengji's brief words, I pieced together what had just happened. Bad news, the whole internet now knows about the model incident. Good news, they don't know it's me. Another bad news. Liu Ryan was streaming live and heading straight toward me. When I opened Liu Ryan's live stream, the background was dim. She was gripping the steering wheel, her face tense. The chat exploded with comments, excited hearts, trembling hands. Little Liu is going to confront her ex. Her ex-boyfriend hijacked her gaming account after the breakup. This time, she's taking back what's hers. It wasn't that I wanted to watch the drama unfold. I just wanted little Liu to ask her ex for me. Where exactly do you find models for 8,888? Liu Ryan stayed focused on driving, ignoring the viewers. The chat continued to explode with excitement. More people kept joining the live stream, drawn by the drama. The viewer count was steadily climbing. As I debated whether I should pack my things and run, I heard the roar of an engine downstairs. I opened the window to check. Sure enough, it was Liu Ryan's car. She arrived so quickly, I hurriedly turned off the lights, pretending no one was home. Moments later, I heard the sound of the doorknob being turned. Thankfully, I had locked the door in advance. Watching her furious face on the live stream screen, I felt a strange sense of satisfaction. Bang! Fang Yuan opened the door. My phone buzzed again with a WeChat notification. Chengzi, it really is you. Is she crazy? Why go to all this trouble? What exactly does she want? I put on a mask, swung the door open abruptly. Liu Ryan nearly slapped me in the face with her hand as she was pounding on the door. She awkwardly retracted her hand, then stuffed both hands into her pockets, trying to look nonchalant. So, you're home? Viewers in the live stream were losing it. Little Liu, where's your energy now? Bring back that momentum. Don't back down, stay strong. I started to realize why she kept the live stream running. Turns out, she wanted the viewers to back her up. Turn the camera. Let us see who this ex-boyfriend really is. I looked down at Liu Ryan, her hands clutching a large suitcase, with a penguin plush toy neatly perched on top of it. What's this, dragging your entire family with you? I put my hands on my hips. What's all this baying for? It's the middle of the night. Don't you know this disturbs people? Liu Ryan moved her lips and dryly said, I changed the password for the gaming account. Yeah, so what? She clenched her fists, gritting her teeth. Fine, you changed it. Whatever. Can't you just enjoy playing games? Why did you have to hire a model? I replied blankly. Because I like it. Liu Ryan scratched her head frantically, looking as if she didn't know where to direct her anger. Anything else? If not, go back. I moved to shut the door, but Liu Ryan darted inside in one swift step. She seemed to have reached her breaking point. What's so great about models? What do they have that I don't? Am I not as good looking as them? Haven't I made you happy? If they can do it, why can't I? She opened her suitcase, shaking all her clothes out in one go, and began putting them in my wardrobe. As if she were setting up camp, I leisurely watched her as she walked back and forth between the bedroom and living room. Feigning curiosity, I asked, are you sure? Sure, everything's fine, everything works. Her confidence was through the roof. I grabbed an apple and took a big bite. Alright, then go take a shower now. Liu Ryan froze for a moment, then pulled out a set of pajamas, folding them neatly. Is this something I get to watch for free? Sometimes, even without visuals, the anticipation can be thrilling. If gaming streamers followed this path, it wouldn't feel like a free ride. The entire phone screen was covered with gift effects. Just when the viewers were bursting with excitement, I spoke up off camera. That's it for today's livestream. Good night, everyone. With no hesitation, I ended the livestream. Staring at the frosted glass door of the bathroom, I continued munching on my apple for quite a while. Finally, the sound of water stopped. I tossed the apple core perfectly into the trash can, wiped my mouth, and fixed my gaze on the bathroom door without blinking. Liu Ryan stepped out hesitantly, a small bath towel wrapped around her waist. The towel was so short, it didn't even cover her thighs. Beads of water still clinging to her skin rolled down her waist and stomach under the pull of gravity, only to be absorbed by the towel. Caught by my unyielding stare, Liu Ryan's ears turned bright red. What? She averted her gaze nervously, not daring to look me in the eye. I stroked my chin. Can't tell by just looking. Might as well touch. Liu Ryan paused, standing in silence for a moment. Finally, she mustered her courage. Fine, then touch me. In a flash, I dashed over, pushed her against the wall, and placed my hand on her waist. Her soft skin yielded under my touch. Liu Ryan held her breath, not daring to even exhale. Once I was done with her waist, my attention shifted to her curvaceous hips. My index finger hooked the edge of her towel, ready to slip in, but her hand firmly stopped mine. Enough, it's late. Let's sleep. My face darkened, and I shot her a hard glare before jumping onto the bed, pulling out my phone. A seductive character on the screen clutched her clothes with her teeth, her gaze alluring as she called out, "Big brother." A sly, mischievous grin spread across my face. Liu Ryan stood by the bed, and when she saw what was on my screen, her expression changed. Fang Yuan, this is too much. Without lifting my head, I kept swiping through the screen. Occasionally, I zoomed in for a closer look. Between the two of us, who's really going to far? Liu Ryan paced back and forth at the bedside, building up her mental strength. After psyching herself up, she lay down on the bed. Alright, come on. I lifted my head from the phone. Liu Ryan tilted her head to look at me, as if she were heading to an execution. I smirked coldly to myself, scanning her from head to toe again. Forget it, I'd rather just watch videos. In the middle of the night, Liu Ryan climbed into my bed again, and I kicked her off without hesitation. If you're not sleeping, get out. In the morning, I was woken by knocking at the door. A delivery guy was standing at the door, pulling several carts full of packages. Your deliveries are here. What deliveries? There were more than a dozen large boxes. The delivery guy helped open and assemble everything, filling the house with various gym equipment. I called Liu Ryan. Where are you? She lowered her voice. I'm at work. In a meeting right now. I nearly forgot she still had a job now. Back in the day, everyone called her Lazy Liu. After retiring, she took over her dad's company, and people switched to calling her Little Lazy Liu. Times had really changed. I kicked aside a barbell near my foot and set up a flower rack by the window. Meanwhile, Changzi was still relentlessly asking on my phone, "Big brother, how did you even meet Liu Ryan? Why didn't you tell me? Is she really your girlfriend? Wait, ex-girlfriend? Can you let me meet her? I want to ask her for an autograph, would that be okay?" Propping my chin on my hand, I thought back to the first time I met Liu Ryan. I've always known I'm not particularly smart. To put it nicely, I'm a bit slow to react. To put it bluntly, I'm slightly dim-witted. As a kid, my grades were poor. Whenever the neighbor Li Dasheng bragged about his son getting first place again, my mom would force a polite smile, then turn to me and say, "Don't be like their son, Li Mian. He studies all day and night. Besides studying, he can't do anything else. Grades don't mean everything. Later, one day by chance, I overheard my teacher saying I had talent for drawing. My mom asked me if I liked it. When I said yes, she immediately enrolled me in an art class. In high school, my grades were at the bottom of the class. The homeroom teacher subtly suggested to my mom that I should take extra lessons, but my mom casually replied, "If she doesn't understand in class, how can extra lessons teach her? Our Fang Yuan has already decided to become an art student. Her current cultural subject scores are already sufficient." Although our family wasn't wealthy, my parents were never stingy. Studying art does cost quite a bit. So during college, to lighten the burden on my family, I worked part-time whenever I could. Back then, I worked in a chain bakery doing promotions. At night, I would take unsold bread and cakes and feed them to the stray animals nearby. That day, I was sitting on the steps by the roadside, peeling off the top layer of chocolate coating to feed a new stray dog, Zi Huang. Zi Huang was eating quietly, but suddenly raised his head and barked twice behind me. I turned to see a girl standing there, her eyes fixed on the bread in my hand. Startled, I shifted slightly to hide behind Zi Huang. The girl glanced at me quickly, then slowly turned and walked away. I don't know where I found the courage, but I ran back into the shop and grabbed the last piece of bread. "Do you want it? It's unsold, it'd be a waste to throw it away. Actually, it was meant to be my midnight snack." The girl stared at me in surprise for a moment. "Thank you, I'll pay you back when I have money someday." That girl was Liu Ryan, who had fallen out with her dad over her decision to pursue professional sports. She had run away from home, and her dad had cut off her allowance. She often hung out at the internet cafe across the street, earning a living by leveling up other people's accounts. At night, when the shop was quiet, she would sit by the door with a few dirty stray dogs, and occasionally with me. When business was good, the bread would sometimes sell out. On those nights, I would spend my own money to buy one and pretend it was unsold. But Liu Ryan didn't just take my bread for free. She'd walk me back to school every night before leaving. One night, we bumped into a classmate of mine. He glanced at Liu Ryan curiously and couldn't help gossiping. "Fang Yuan, is this your girlfriend? She's so cool." I instinctively looked at Liu Ryan, but I didn't confirm it. He didn't deny it, as if it were just something natural and inevitable. When I snapped back to reality and looked at the painting on my easel, I realized I had unconsciously drawn Liu Ryan. Under the street lamp, she looked youthful and innocent, with Zi Huang, Zi He, and Zi Bai lining up along her shadow. I couldn't help but curve my lips into a smile. She used to be so adorable back then. Now, she's just a fool. I gave Chengzi 1,000 yuan to let him buy his own ticket. Girls, after all, usually enjoy gaming. When Liu Ryan first started gaining fame, Chengzi already liked her. He was constantly watching her gameplay, praising her with all kinds of over-the-top compliments. By that time, Liu Ryan had signed with a professional club. We could only see each other every few days. She would sometimes accompany me to the roadside, helping me promote the bakery's new products. I went from stammering nervously to speaking fluently and naturally. She also taught me how to play games. Those reflex-heavy games were something I'd never tried before because I couldn't keep up. But Liu Ryan encouraged me, saying I was learning fast and even had me as her practice partner. Honestly, I knew I was terrible at it, but I worked hard anyway. Slowly, I started getting the hang of it. Not only did my hands become quicker, but my mind grew noticeably sharper too. I treated it as a form of intellectual development. During that time, even my art style changed. Before, it had been tranquil and serene, like the world was at peace. One day, a fan left a comment on my work, saying they felt my recent paintings had become much brighter and more vibrant. "Is something making you especially happy?" That fan turned out to be Jung Man. Later, we became good friends. He taught me a lot of quirky and creative things. As for my current art style, how should I put it? It's more worldly now. Women have taken over my heart. In the evening, Liu Ryan came back grumbling, carrying a faint smell of alcohol. She complained about her group of drinking buddies, saying they don't just drink but also smear lipstick on her. This shirt is ruined. I looked up at her, and under my meaningful gaze, Liu Ryan kept explaining. At that moment, I gave her a little shove. That guy reeked of cologne. If you pull this again with me, I'll cut ties with that whole bunch of losers. Liu Ryan's friends were all wealthy heirs. Lavish parties and indulgence were normal for them. Someone like Liu Ryan was an oddball in their eyes. After ranting, she pulled out a box. It's a new product from Heishan Bakery. I picked it up on my way back. Try it. Heishan Bakery was where I used to work. Whether it was actually on her way depended on where she had been drinking that night. I lay on the sofa, taking small bites of the cake. Meanwhile, Liu Ryan started using the gym equipment, puffing and huffing like she had an endless supply of energy. She occasionally stopped to wipe her sweat, choosing to lift weights instead of lifting me. I beckoned to her with my finger. Liu Ryan immediately dropped the barbell and walked over, puzzled. What's wrong? I squinted at her and gave her a look. Can you do 100 push-ups? Of course, she replied without hesitation. I reached out, hooked her neck, and pulled her closer. Do them in front of me. Start and I'll count for you. Liu Ryan hesitated for a moment and cautiously climbed onto the sofa. She braced her arms, hovering above me, then slowly bent her elbows. Her soft breaths, one after another, brushed past me, blending perfectly with the sweet scent of the cake. By the time she reached her 40s, her breathing grew a little heavier, but her rhythm stayed steady. As I popped the last bit of cake into my mouth, I lifted my eyes, watching Liu Ryan. Thin beads of sweat began to gather, sliding down her jawline, hanging there precariously. I caught one with my fingertip, and her breath instantly faltered. Liu Ryan gritted her teeth and pushed through all 100, finally stopping. She propped herself up, her eyes glistening with sweat. Was the cake good? I blinked at her. Delicious. The next second, she lowered her head, and something at the corner of my mouth was swiped away. Liu Ryan carefully tasted it, concluding, very sweet. I quietly watched her, expecting something more to happen, but she bent her knees, taking a moment to catch her breath. Lowering her head, she caught a whiff of her own sweaty smell. Springing up, she said, I'm going to shower. I watched her head into the bathroom. Some things are hopeless after all. When Changzi arrived, he brought along a big pile of hometown specialties. His eyes immediately latched onto Liu Ryan. Chengchi's fanboy admiration was impossible to hide. Liu Ryan arranged a hotel for him, and even took him on a tour of the KT Esports Club training camp. By the time they returned, he was over the moon. Brother, Ryan said after my college entrance exams, I can train there for 2 months. I couldn't help but roll my eyes. That's not her call to make. Chengxi's eyes widened, but Ryan said. Liu Ryan rubbed her nose, helplessly adding, yeah, listen to your brother. Though she said that in private. Liu Ryan emphasized to me that Changzi had solid skills. His hand speed was fast, his reflexes sharp, and his adaptability impressive. Most importantly, he loved it. I understood her unspoken message clearly. If her father had supported her choice back then, she wouldn't have had to take such a winding path. Online rumors claimed she retired at her peak, vowing to return home and inherit the family business. But in reality, it was to make room for the next generation. She often praised a jungler on her team, saying he was exceptionally talented. That kid had joined KT because of her. If he had gone to another team, he could have already been a star player. But he insisted on staying at KT. As long as Liu Ryan remained on the roster, he would never have a chance to play. Forever stuck as a substitute. The career span of an esports player is short, and there's no room for waiting. The night she won her 3rd world championship, Liu Ryan immediately announced her retirement. Then, without missing a beat, she turned around and bought out KT. She became the boss. Occasionally, she'd hop on a game live stream to show her face, just to let everyone know she was still alive. The audacity of rich people is all the same. She could have gone back to her grand villa, but instead, she insisted on squeezing into this tiny one-bedroom apartment with me. That afternoon, I was painting on the balcony. Tomorrow was the deadline for my submission. My editor was practically ready to chase me with a knife. When I heard a knock at the door, I assumed Liu Ryan had come back. Forgot your keys again? But outside stood a middle-aged woman wearing glasses. Fang Yuan, right? I'm Liu Ryan's mother. Such a cliché scene. I never thought it would actually happen to me. The woman wasted no time. How much do you want? I thought about this question before. When I learned that Liu Ryan's family owned a company worth billions, I imagined a day would come when her mom would throw a blank check in my face. All I'd need to do was fill it out and leave her daughter. But instead of a check, she pulled out a bank card. Is $50,000 a month enough? $50,000 a month? I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. The middle-aged woman took a deep breath. How about 100,000? Still not enough? The woman's eyes widened. That brat. No matter how much she eats, she can't be costing you this much. While I sat there utterly confused. She tilted her head slightly, her expression growing sharper. Our family isn't unreasonable. We can't let that brat freeload off you. He should at least cover his living expenses, right? The woman tapped the table. Name your price. And he was coming on too strong. I froze for a moment and then pushed the bank card back. That won't be necessary. Liu Ryan already covers her own expenses. She transfers money to me up to 8 times a day. She saw someone's phone case in the elevator and liked it. So she sent me 520 yuan to buy one online for her. A colleague recently got a new mug, a gift from their boyfriend. Liu Ryan transferred me 1,314 yuan, demanding that I buy her a boyfriend-gifted mug too. Once on a dry evening, she complained about the poor air quality and sent me 8,888 yuan, telling me to get some fresh air for her. I opened all 4 windows without a word. Sometimes earning money is just that simple. By the end of the month, it adds up to almost 6 figures. Back when Liu Ryan was homeless, barely scraping by, her mother didn't care about her. Now that she's little lazy Liu, her mom makes a special trip just to deliver her living expenses. I cautiously asked, "Auntie, you didn't come all this way just to see me, did you?" She tried to mask her intentions, picking up her water cup. "Don't tell Liu Ryan I came to see you." The moment she left, I immediately called Liu Ryan. "Your mom came to see me. What did she want with you?" From the other end of the call, I heard the screech of a chair moving. "Wait for me, I'm coming back now." When Liu Ryan came through the door, her eyes darted around as if searching for something. I immediately threw myself into her arms. She caught me effortlessly. "Where's my mom? What did she say to you?" I rubbed my face against her neck. "Liu Ryan, what would you do if your mom didn't agree to us being together?" She snorted coldly. "Then I'd run away from home again. Let's see who she thinks will inherit all that wealth." I chuckled, "Silly girl." Liu Ryan's mom had once said that when Liu Ryan brought home her first championship trophy, she placed it in front of her dad and said, "See, without your help, I can still make something of myself." When she won her second championship, she brought the trophy home again. The third time, she simply put the trophy in a cabinet and said to her dad, "Old man, I'm back to take over the family business." Her dad was so shocked. He thought she must have lost her mind and almost took her to the hospital. The medical checkup came back fine, and Liu Ryan told him, "My dream has been fulfilled. Now it's time for life. My boyfriend's waiting for me to get married." Her dad asked what her boyfriend did for a living. "I can't exactly say he's just a gamer. Can I? Even if he supports me. How could his parents trust me with their son? You're getting on in years. Retire early so I can take the bride prize. And propose properly, having spent so much time with her team. Liu Ryan had picked up their carefree, cocky demeanor. In reality, she's actually quite petty. I grabbed her ear, twisting it slightly. Your mom said I should just accept you, trouble and all. Really? Her eyes lit up. Unable to resist, I tilted my head and kissed her directly. Liu Ryan instinctively leaned back pressing against the door. She couldn't escape as I held her neck firmly. Don't you dare dodge, I said, pinning her in place. I gently pried open her tightly shut teeth, pushing forward with no resistance. Supporting myself on her shoulders, I shifted slightly upward. You seem weak in the knees. Unexpectedly, Liu Ryan completely broke down. I already told you, didn't I? Don't tease me. I can't handle it. What woman could handle this? When did you ever say that? Liu Ryan froze for a moment, her face filled with embarrassment. Maybe I told you with my mind, she muttered. She clung to me tightly, repeating over and over. Don't tease me. Seriously, don't tease me. It's so hard for me to hold back. I never asked you to hold back. Haven't I made myself obvious enough? I've dropped so many hints. But I looked it up online. The first time is supposed to hurt a lot, like really painful. And there's even blood. I jumped off her, sighing, this is my life, I guess. Liu Ryan, looking like a guilty child, lowered her head. Give me some time to prepare. My foot. I grabbed my phone and opened it again, returning to my little enchantress. The same woman who had been pouting a moment ago completely lost her composure. Wait, she shouted. I'll be right back. And she bolted out of the room. I stared at the now empty doorway, thinking for a moment. She must have gone to the store. Liu Ryan came back brazenly, carrying two boxes. One was blue, labeled ultra thin, and the other was white, labeled painkillers. I'm scared of the pain. I'll take one pill first. No, better make it two. I turned and went back to the bedroom, intending to shut the door. I'll be as gentle as I can. Honestly, it did hurt a little, but Liu Ryan has an incredible ability to endure. Outside, the faint chirping of cicadas could be heard. Liu Ryan picked up the clothes from the floor and tossed them into the washing machine, then poured me a glass of warm water and brought it in. Tired, here, drink some water. I finished the water. And she asked again, you're all sweaty. Do you want to take a shower? The bathroom rarely a place for just washing. We tangled again in there for another half hour before coming out. On the easel, my painting's colors shifted, from fresh green to fiery red, then to withered yellow. My mom called to ask when I'd come home. I immediately booked a train ticket for a few days later. Liu Ryan drove me to the station, grumbling all the way. There's still a whole month until the new year. Why are you leaving so early? What about me? Why don't you just pack me in your suitcase and take me home with you? I couldn't help laughing at her. You stay here and work hard, make good money, and keep the house safe. It was clear she was still sulking. The day after I got home, Aunt Lee from next door came by with a bag of fruit. She started by praising how handsome I'd grown, then complimented my maturity and filial piety before subtly trying to ask about my job. I found it all very strange. When I was a child, she used to call me that idiot son of the Fang family behind my back. Every time I heard it, I'd feel a little insecure. But then, when my mom would proudly say, my son is so smart, I'd feel cheerful again. Once, my mom even dumped trash in front of their house. Feng Chun Mei, if you dare call my son an idiot again, just try it. I'll smash your family's heads in. Though it was a bit fierce, it was very effective. Over the years, our two families have maintained surface-level peace, but no real harmony, so her sudden eagerness was very unusual. After she left, I asked my mom what was going on. My mom's face was filled with disdain. Didn't their son Lee used to work at a bank? Then he left to teach at a graduate prep institute, saying the side job paid better. But I heard It was because he got fired from the bank for a serious violation. Later at the institute, he got a girl pregnant. Their family promised to marry her, but they kept delaying it. They stalled until she was far along, thinking they could manipulate her without paying a bride price. The girl's parents were so angry they took her home. Everyone thought the baby was aborted. But recently, someone left a baby at their doorstep. It was that child. The girl's entire family has moved away. No one can find them anymore. Now Fang Chunmei is scrambling to find a stepmother for her grandson. Every matchmaker in the area knows about their family situation. No one is willing to arrange a match for them. So that's what happened. As the new year approached, Liu Ryan showed up. I asked, "What are you doing here, Liu Ryan? I missed you, it's the weekend." So I drove over. But how did she know where my family lived? I asked Chengzi for your address. Turns out that little traitor. Did you miss me? I grinned, teasing. Liu Ryan turned her face slightly, and I immediately stole a kiss. Where did you go? You've been gone for ages to buy soy sauce. And now the soup in my pot is about to dry up. My mom stood at the stairway, completely dumbfounded. At the dinner table, Liu Ryan sat upright, her hands clasped on her knees, sitting straighter than the wall itself. Directly across from her were my mom and dad, while Chengzi and I sat on either side. Chengzi leaned over. "Ryan, let me tell you something. Actually, our house can breathe." Liu Ryan straightened herself. "Hello, uncle and auntie. My name is Liu Ryan. I'm 24 years old. My family owns a nanotechnology company. I currently work there. But in addition to that, I also own a game development company. It's still in its early stages." She even mentioned where her family lived, nearly listing out her ancestors for 8 generations. My mom and dad listened, stunned. "Let's eat first," my mom finally said. In the middle of the table was a scorched plate of duck, charred and blackened. Thankfully, Liu Ryan only picked from the plate in front of her. Midway through the meal, I poked at the food in my bowl and said, "I can't eat anymore." Without hesitation, Liu Ryan passed me her bowl. My parents exchanged glances. They lowered their heads knowingly. After dinner, Chengzi asked Liu Ryan where she would stay that night. "I'll just stay at a hotel," she replied. I stayed silent. But my mom immediately interjected, "Stay in Fang Yuan's room. It's big enough you sleep in his bed. And he can go sleep with his brother." In the middle of the night, the door creaked open. Liu Ryan peeked through the crack, complaining, "I can't sleep." I let her in. "What should we do now?" I asked. She grabbed my arm and dragged me back to the room. "I want to sleep with you. Don't worry, no one will find out." Fine, I relented but warned her, "Don't try anything." Liu Ryan raised her hand and solemnly swore, "I wouldn't dare cross the line." Before dawn, I returned to my original room. My mom glanced at me. It felt like she might know something. After lunch, Liu Ryan left. Soon, the neighbors were all buzzing about the Fang family's new girlfriend. Beautiful and from a family with a big company. I have no idea who spread the news, but it was clear that my parents were very pleased. Liu Ryan walked out with her head held high, especially when we ran into Li at the market. She was practically glowing with pride. "Fang Yuan, buy some extra beef. I'll make some beef jerky for you to bring to Ryan to try." Li placed a piece of beef brisket down gently, then moved to the next stall to pick ribs. After the new year, Liu Ryan kept messaging me. "Baby, why haven't you come back yet? I miss you so much. I can't eat well, and I can't sleep well. Every minute, every second, I'm thinking about you. The tulips on the balcony have bloomed. They miss you too." After booking my ticket, I sent the details to her. Liu Ryan responded instantly, "I'll come pick you up." Not long after I returned, Liu Ryan took me to see a house. She said the family villa was nice, but I can't exactly kick my dad out. Her spacious flat in the city center didn't have an environment suitable for my creative work, so I chose this little house with a garden. I really liked the house. but it felt like we skipped a step somewhere. That evening after dinner, Liu Ryan said she was too full and insisted I go for a walk with her. We walked and walked, eventually ending up at Haitian Bakery. The once little Zi Huang was now a big dog. The restaurant owner across the street had adopted him, raising him into a sleek and healthy dog. Zi Huang waddled over to me, something tied around his neck. Curious, I bent down and opened the box. Inside was a ring. I was puzzled, why was there a ring on a dog? Then it hit me, and I looked up suddenly. This was your idea, wasn't it? Liu Ryan patted Zi Huang, took the ring, and said, "Fang Yuan, will you marry me?" I stared at her quietly. Saying nothing, Liu Ryan started to panic. You can't say no! What do you take me for? Some casual fling? You have to take responsibility for me. I couldn't help but laugh inside. I can give you money, 8,888. I don't want money. I only want you. You want me, huh? I smiled, my eyes curving, and said, then I'm yours.